No, because what do you mean we're already in March? The year just started. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going through all of the books that I read in the month of February. I read 17 this month, which is pretty good. I had a lot of good reads and I had a couple reads, but overall very good reading month for me. Starting off, February was the month for rockstar romance reads. I really hyperfixate when I find something that I like. I will hyperfixate on it until I get sick of it. I did a bunch of buddy reads with my girl Ashley, who is also a huge fan. Starting the month off with Midnight Stage. I loved this book. Ezra Knight, just the angsty, yearning, second chance romance, and he is a pierced MMC. They've known each other pretty much their entire lives, and they've literally been holding back their feelings for 8 years. Talk about angsty, rockstar romance, yearning. Yes, read this book. It was so freaking good. The next duet I read was so freaking good, but it was so painful. It was Full Tilt and All In by Emma Scott. So right off the bat, in the first book, you find that the MMC is battling a terminal illness. Her FMC falls in love with her in the short amount of time that they have, and their romance is so beautiful. It is so painful. I can't talk about it for too long without wanting to cry. Like, I'm already tearing up right now thinking about it. It was so freaking good. It was so good. And I won't spoil the second book because you need to go into the second book blind. I loved the second book, devoured it. And Chance Romance, I'll leave it at that. It was so beautifully painful. Please read it. It was so freaking good. Next book I read was Miss Lee Rivers and Avina St. James combo book, Eldrith Manor. Yes, the MMC is a freaking tatted pierced demon. Absolutely. And he's like from the Victorian era, which makes him even hotter. Yes. It's a demon ghost. A little backstory back in his time in I think the 1700s, and he gets cursed and he becomes a demon, and he's been in hell for ever, for a super long time. And then our FMC is grieving the loss of her sister, and she tries to summon her sister so she could just speak to her. And unfortunately, she summons a demon. And his immediate response to her is, wow, she's so beautiful. It's spicy, but it was so good. It was so good. And I hope they read another book to continue and make it like a duet. But yes, I loved it. So freaking good. It's dark romance. Read your trigger warning. Next series that I read for Valentine's Day was the Improbable Meet Cute that Amazon put out. I listened and read all 5 of these. I'm gonna say overall, yes. Some of them were a little lackluster for me, but overall, I thought the vibe was perfect. They're the perfect little fluffy little star-crossed lovers meet cute books. I enjoyed them. I say yes. And also, I just love when Amazon does this little series of 6 books written by 6 popular authors and make it a theme. The theme was meet cute star-crossed lovers. All of them had some type of comet that was going across the sky, and the comet, or 2 comets I believe. Do you like my 2 nails? 2 comets meeting, and they were called the star-crossed lovers comets, which I love stars, I love space, I love astrology, so that really spoke to me. So I would say yes for these. They were very cute, good filler books to get you kind of out of a reading slump. Loved them. Back on my rockstar romance shit, I got into The Daymakers, which is basically a why choose of rock stars, masked rock stars. It was giving Sleep Token fan fiction. Really enjoyed the vibes. I just wish that there was a little bit more plot. Our FMC is escaping a very toxic, abusive relationship. She meets the band and she kind of becomes their on tour F-buddy. I'll leave it at that. It's a lot of smut, but it is also a lot of healing for all of the characters. I just wish there was a little bit more plot. But yeah. Next book I read, which was another rockstar romance, of course, it was by Miss Cassie Mack. It's called Drawn to You. Yes. Second chance romance. So freaking good. The angst and the yearning that both of these characters had for each other, so freaking good. I can't wait to read the second book. It's literally sitting in my Kindle, but this book was so good. I love angsty, second chance, rockstar romance. I love it, as you can tell. That was the theme of this month, basically. Next book I read, I continued my Addicted Calloway Sisters series where I read Ricochet. I would say maybe leaning more towards yes, because this is a filler book. It is Lo and Lily's journeys, you know, battling their addictions, and it was a good filler book. It did make me appreciate Lo more as a character. Lily is starting to grow on me because she really annoyed me in the first book, but I'm gonna say maybe / yes, because I can understand why people wouldn't like this book necessarily, but yes, because I will be continuing the series. I really want to get to Reich and Daisy's books, and I really want to get to Connor and Rose's books, so yes. The next book I read, I listened to this on audiobook. It is a book by James Patterson, and he also had a collaboration with other authors, which is, their names are blanking me right now. Essentially going through the life of Jeffrey Epstein. It was a hard listen because it was actual interview, you know, dialogue and situations that were proven true. It was a really tough read. However, I think it's super important given what is going on right now. It's infuriating what's happening right now with the Epstein files, if you've been following along in the true crime world. So upsetting. So I think it's important for voices of the survivors to be heard. The reason why I'm saying maybe. I'm also saying maybe because, again, the content is sad and hard to listen to and infuriating, and if I keep talking about it, I'm going to keep getting angry. So I will say that the book was very well written. I really appreciated the pace, and I appreciated kind of the interview style. So the way it was written, it's multiple occasions, multiple different victims. Their names were and identities were changed, you know, for their privacy, but it was written as if you were just kind of a spectator watching interviews happen. It was a very interesting take, so listen to it at your own will, but know that it's a very difficult read to listen to. The next book I read, which was so exciting, I finally started the Mindfuck series. I started with The Risk, and I loved it. I knew as soon as I met Lana Myers that I was going to love her because I love a stabby, badass MMC. I wasn't expecting to like Logan as much. He's usually not my typical physical-wise MMC, but the way they are both so down bad for each other, and they're both broken humans that are trying to understand what this feeling of attraction level to each other is. I love that she is a serial unaliver and he is the FBI agent that is on her case. I loved that. I can't wait to continue the series. I know I'm gonna love it. Also, the fact that the author's name is St. Abby, Stabby, obsessed, love it. All right, so as you can imagine, reading a bunch of good books, I'm going to end up in a reading slump. So I decided to pick up an extreme horror because those usually get me out of my reading slump pretty fast if it's not like a fluffy little rom-com. So I picked up 100% Match. What the fuck was that? This book was so unhinged and disgusting and funny, and I physically could not put the book down. You're basically following Bart, the MMC, as he is navigating his life. He's essentially if Dwight Schrute was like 10 times more unhinged, and if he was just like disgusting and crazy. We basically follow Bart as he's literally searching for his 100% match, and the way he thinks in numbers. So he knows like all of these analytics and percentages of like women, you know, 60% of women prefer this, 60% of women do this, and that's why I do this. Meanwhile, in his life, he does like super unhinged things to where, and it's like sprinkled into the story to which you're like, what the heck? But then it like changes to the next scene and you're just like, what? I'm gonna say maybe for this one. Obviously read your trigger warnings. It is not for everybody. Again, it is an extreme horror, so there's a lot of gross, scary, extreme elements to it. However, if you're capable of reading horror, extreme horror, this book was wild. I I'm still thinking about it. And then the last book I read this month, I finally got to the Throne duet by Rena Kent. I've only read the first book, Throne of Power, and I loved it. I knew as soon as I got into Kyle and Rye's books that I was going to devour it, and I was correct. The mouth and the charisma that Kyle Hunter has was sending me. Also, Rye is a baddie, which I'm so glad that we're getting baddie FMCs back with Rena Kent's universe. I feel like some of her FMCs lately have been really soft. So I'm glad to see very strong, powerful, baddie FMCs, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the second book because I really appreciate them as a couple, but I really want to see them grow as a couple. And Kyle's just a little mysterious, and I want to know what that's about. So yeah, those were the books that I read this month. Overall, I had a really good reading month. I guess I recommend technically all of them, really. I'm not sure what the vibe for March is going to be. I'm a big mood reader, so we'll see where my mind takes me. I think I'm leaning towards medieval March because I'm really feeling medieval vibes, knights, that kind of thing, but I will keep you posted. If you enjoyed this video, if you've read any of these books, if you agreed with any of my ratings, please let me know. I would love to talk about them. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, and I will see you on the next video.